Mothers in New Orleans East say they're living with serious mold problems.
Amid rising living costs, the women say they want to move, but they can't afford it. Eleanor Tabone has tonight's top story.
Right here.
Harika Estine has been living at Chateau d'Orleans Apartments for 5 years. This was her downstairs closet. Inside, her kids' stroller, jumper, car seat and toys. She says the items were covered in mold. A loss, she says, of $1,500.
Both of my kids are always coughing. Their nose are always running. My daughter, she has asthma, so she have asthma attacks. Sometimes, you know, I have to rush her to the hospital, and it's like, it just keeps them sick.
She says she's gone to property management at least 6 times about the mold, and they just paint over it.
Nothing has been done.
Is that what you guys are just doing, is just painting over the mold? The mold's still going to be in those walls. And she has 2 young kids.
Again, yeah, when we do mold remediation, it's not, first of all, it doesn't do any good to just paint over the paint it over. We have to figure out where the moisture is coming from and remediate it that way.
Albert Benarock with Capital Realty Group Inc., an agency out of New York who manages the property, told me on the phone they addressed the mold in Harika's apartment.
And as soon as she brought it to our attention, we did mold remediation, we sheetrocked, we didn't just paint, as she said.
I have been dealing with this for years, almost 8 years now.
Eunice Hubbard says her apartment has mold too. She says there's mold in her 2 bathrooms and the upstairs bathroom is leaking into the downstairs bathroom.
It'd be hard for us to breathe in here. You know, it suffocates us.
She says the complex's remedy is very similar to Harika's.
I have told them several times about it, but ain't nothing getting done about it. They'll come repaint or something like that.
Sometimes things may fall through the crack.
Benarock says staff have been fixing the leak in Eunice's apartment. Nevertheless, the mothers say they just want to move.
I don't have the funds to move right now. I don't want to be back here at all.
Eleanor Tabone, Eyewitness News.
Harika says her closet is currently mold-free, but she worries it will come back. We asked property management to send us the work orders for both apartments. We're still waiting for those documents. It does appear the complex replaced the sheetrock in Harika's apartment and put a new one in Eunice's bathroom.
The Bayou parishes are in the midst of a catastrophic housing crisis, and that includes the home of Virginia Guidry.
Well, Ida left her Montague home broken and full of mold, and 3 weeks after the storm, she is still living there. WWL-TV digital producer Sam Winstrom shares her story.
Okay, this is where we live at temporarily for right now until we can get something better. This is the kitchen. This is where the rain falls. This is where we sleep at. We have no choice to stay in this area. And my breathing has not been doing good at all. I have trouble sleeping. I have this to keep me breathing and that fan there to keep me breathing at night. And it's hard for me to sleep in this chair. That makes me cough. Damaged. The ceiling rains like waterfall. No window at the bottom. I lost all my clothes. No window. Everything's all no good. So I'm gone. I'm not gonna live down here no more. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I tried. I love my family to death, don't get me wrong. I love my brother, I love my sisters, but I can't take it no more.
Well, Virginia expects to be out of her home next week. She says her son is coming to take her to Arkansas, where she'll have a fresh start.
Well, in 2023, over 16% of all rental units in America had at least one tenant landlord issue. That's according to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition. In Columbus, many tenants living in apartments and rental homes have been concerned about their options after facing the loss of crucial utilities like water. News 9's Dylan Seymour is live tonight in Uptown Columbus, where he spoke with the Director of Inspections and Code and Dylan, so what should tenants do if their basic needs are not being met by their landlords?
Yeah, Barbara, if Columbus residents should reach out to the inspection and code department as soon as possible. One Columbus resident says if she had not, she feels her and her 2 sons will still be living with dangerous mold and a hole in their ceiling.
I lost everything. I lost clothes, shoes, all of our furniture, and they don't care.
Deanna Harper lives in one of the many apartment complexes in the Fountain City. She says her unit has been filled with mold since July. She tells me she hired a mold remediation company to inspect her apartment, where they would find 37,000 mold spores, which she says makes living there impossible. She says she would still be forced to live in the apartment if it was not for the city's inspection and codes department.
You know, everybody deserves to have a quality place to live. You know, these people are paying rent to these landlords, and so if there is an issue, you know, it is the landlord's responsibility to meet those minimum standards, and so, you know, we take that responsibility very seriously.
If those standards are not met, it could lead to a $500 fine for the first citation and $1,000 for any citation after that. Harper lived in the mold-infested apartment for months until she was forced to take one of her 2 sons to the hospital to be treated for mold infection.
As a mother, we're supposed to protect our children, and I felt like I failed them. And I could not bring them back here.
Months went by as Harper and her family dealt with the mold. During that time, she made sure she paid her rent every month.
The landlord has an obligation to do certain repairs. That's usually spelled out in the lease as well. But as a tenant, your obligation to pay rent is separate from the landlord's repair obligation, meaning you can't just withhold your rent if they're withholding repairs.
Now, Barbara, Director of Inspection and Code, Ryan Pruitt, says if anyone needs some sort of inspection, to give them a call as soon as possible. That number will be on our website at WTVM.com. Reporting live from Columbus, I'm Dylan Seymour for WTVM News Leader 9.
Yeah, so important for folks to know they do have options and some recourse if they were having those issues. All right, Dylan, thank you very much.
And people said they are not getting the help they need, so they got News Center 7 involved. For years, they said they have complained about possible mold in their apartment. News Center 7's Malik Patterson went to Preble County and talked with people living there. Malik also tried talking with the property manager.
There was just little bits of mold that would grow on the windowsills, moisture locked in the windows.
This couple started to notice the issues after a kitchen fire in August of 2022. When they started cleaning, they noticed this, black spots that look like mold. He told me he filed a work order complaint.
They actually paid me to do it, and I replaced all the drywall. I replaced 2 window frames and the door frame, and painted the entire apartment.
Miller said he was paid $500 to fix the inside and outside of the apartment. After he claimed he made the repairs, they noticed more black spots that appears to be mold in his daughter's room and were concerned.
Okay, they've been sick off and on every other month.
So he put in another work order, but he told us a maintenance man claimed that the first work order was not completed. Because of that, they could not look into a second work order.
It's really heartbreaking, and at the same time, it's infuriating because it's a government-owned facility and they're not holding up on their end.
So I called the main office.
Our offices are closed.
And no one answered. I tried to go down to the property manager's office to discuss these issues. I was told they cannot comment on these issues, so I wanted to know if there was someone above them that could.
And they sent us pictures of what looked like mold in their apartment as well.
They told me they haven't heard anything, and when I requested to speak to the property manager directly, they said she was not available and provided me with another after-hours maintenance number, which I called.
You have reached the general voicemail box.
News Center 7's Malik Patterson joins us. Malik, you called those numbers more than 3 hours ago. Still nothing back.
That's right, James. I have not heard back from anyone. We really wanted to hear from a live person, but at this point, nothing. That is part of the frustration that people living there say that they're dealing with as well.
All right, Malik, we know you will continue to follow this story, try to get some folks some answers out there. Malik Patterson live tonight.